So more than a decade after a brutal attack that changed her life forever, businesswoman and gender-based violence activist Andy Kawa finally got justice. Convicted rapist Moses Gqesha has been sentenced to 8 life terms with an additional 34 years for related charges. The Gqeberha High Court found him guilty of kidnapping, raping and robbing Kawa at King's Beach in 2010. Newzroom Afrika's Sipha Kema has that story.
14 long years of waiting, reliving trauma and hoping the system would not fail her. Andy Kawa had gone for a walk along King's Beach in 2010 when she was attacked, robbed and raped repeatedly through the night. Her attacker, Moses Gqesha, has now been sentenced to multiple life terms to be served concurrently. He was only caught in 2020 after DNA from another case matched evidence collected years ago. During sentencing, Judge Philip Zilwa said Gqesha showed no remorse and offered no credible explanation for his actions.
Having considered the submissions both by the state and by the defense in this matter, I have not been able to find any compelling and substantial factors that justifies departure from imposing the prescribed sentences referred to above.
The judge went further to call Gqesha's conduct degrading and violent, with complete disregard for the victim's humanity.
He clearly regarded the complainant as an object on which he can do as he pleases.
It's a sentence that brings some closure, but it cannot undo the pain. Speaking on behalf of her mother and their family, Gqeberha Kawa spoke of the emotional toll the last 14 years have taken.
Can you imagine being asked in a court of law to recount the worst night of your life? Can you then imagine listening to the defense say, well, one of the mitigating factors is that you were not murdered? And so the emotional toll is immense. You might see my mom, who stood in court strong, but she's someone who's had multiple sleepless nights, who's no longer been able to work, and whose memory has been greatly impacted.
The breakthrough in this case came through DNA, 10 years after the crime. For the Kawa family, justice delayed nearly meant justice denied. But they say real healing needs systemic change.
I think healing is a very long road, but what would bring healing is seeing concrete action by the government.
For those fighting gender-based violence on the front lines, the sentence is welcomed, but the sobering reminder that for survivors, the damage inflicted is far-reaching.
The judge's decision was very clear, and he said he's sending out a message to society that women must be protected. So the only appropriate sentence was a life sentence.
The National Prosecuting Authority welcomes the sentence and says it indicates that all sins cast long shadows.
The sentencing of the rapist Moses Gqesha to 8 life imprisonment terms is a clear reiteration that the arm of the law is very long and should encourage other people to come forward and report rapes, even if they took place a long time ago.
Justice has been served, but the pain remains. For the Kawa family, this sentence is not the end. It's a step towards healing. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Sipha Kema at the High Court in Gqeberha.